Welcome back to yet another season of the Throwdowns. Yes, the Miss Mandi Throwdowns. Hope you guys have had yourselves an amazing Christmas. I know the recipes came through because the tags were amazing. I was constantly getting a DM or a tag, especially to the biryani, pilau, constantly. Now, we want to keep those tags on and popping in 2019. I want to keep blessing you with some amazing recipes. And on this season of Miss Mandi Throwdown, I'm going to be sharing with you ways on how to make food under 500 bob. To keep it true to Kenyan fashion, because it's all about in January. For those who are in the World Wide Web and are wondering what in January means you've spent most of your money during Christmas. So January, you gotta live on a really tight budget. And a lot of you said that 500 bob is what you usually spend on food. So let me show you some delicious meals you can make with that budget. As the title suggests, we are going to be making vegetable rice, or rather, you know when you have leftover rice in your house, which is just plain and white and you just get tired of eating that? I want to show you how to revamp that in simple ways with simple ingredients that you can find at your local mama mboga, or even if you just do general grocery shopping at any store. So for the first rice, we're going to just be making it with some onion, which is about 1 onion that I cut into half and then I sliced. We have some cilantro, dania, which is half of it, and I just chopped it up roughly. Both of these items are 20 shillings. 10 shillings for the onion, 10 shillings for the dania. And of course, the main thing that we're gonna be using is our leftover rice. Now, a good tip to share with you guys is you wanna use rice that you had the night before because it's already broken apart. It's so easy to just like whip it up. And then lastly, we're gonna be using our turmeric right here, which is something that I usually have in my pantry. And it's one thing that I keep telling you guys, make sure your pantry is stocked with the spices that you're gonna need to be using. With that being said, let's heat up the pan and start revamping this rice. Now, we're gonna get our pan nice and hot, and then we're just gonna add in about half a tablespoon to 3/4 tablespoon of cooking oil. I'm gonna swirl this around, let the pan get, all the oil. We're just gonna add in our onions. We are gonna let our onions cook until they soften, and it's at that point we're gonna add in our cilantro dania. So at this point, I'm just cooking the onions on medium high heat for them to really cook in order to soften, of course. So it's been about, I wanna say 1.5 minutes, and you can tell the onions have already started to soften. I'm using my spatula to check on that, and I'm just gonna add in just like a hint of turmeric. It's about like a really small hint. Because also turmeric is very pungent and you don't want the spice to burn as well. And then we're gonna add in our dania. Now I'm turning down the heat to low as I've mixed this all in. I'm gonna be adding in a pinch of salt. And then I'm just gonna take about 2 handfuls, or rather 3. And I'm just gonna stir this together. Now the heat is still on low. I'm just gonna turn it up just a bit to medium low in order for the rice to just warm up. Okay, it's been about 40 seconds and I've just been touching on the rice to make sure it's hot, and it is actually hot. I'm just gonna turn it off and then I'm gonna serve. So now that the first rice is done, let's move over onto our second veggie rice. We are gonna be using some carrots, which I got for 20 shillings. I got like a couple of them for 20 shillings. We are also going to be using some onion. This is a lot of onion, so I'm just gonna probably be using just a small handful of this. We are also going to be using some sweet corn. I actually ran a poll on my Insta stories asking you guys what's one of your favorite veggies to add into your veggie rice. And a lot of you have voted for sweet corn. So sweet corn, I actually got it from the grocery store that I usually go to. 3 of them are 159 bob. You can find them at Zucchini. You can find them at Chandarana. You can also find them at Tuskie's. I've seen them at plenty of places. So it's not something that's gonna be hard to find. So I have some of this. If you don't have sweet corn, you can skip on it as well. So sweet corn. We also have some French beans, which you can find practically everywhere, guys. Okay, I bought mine a bunch for like 79 shillings because they were already trimmed. And yeah, I just cut them up to be smaller. We are also going to be using some spring onion. The spring onion I found in my grocery store. It was about 70 shillings as well. This is gonna be like our garnish for the vegetable rice. Lastly, what we have here is some ginger and some garlic cloves. Now, I usually mince all this to keep in my fridge, so we're probably gonna be using just like 2 cloves and some of this ginger just to give the veggie rice a little bit more flavor. And of course, the one thing that you definitely need, again, is the leftover rice from the night before in order to give it that va-va-voom. So let's head over to the stove in order to whip up our veggie rice. 2 cloves of garlic right here. We also have just a little bit splash of water. I'm gonna be adding in just half a thumb of some ginger. And then we are gonna whiz this up. Now, a lot of you are probably gonna ask me, girl, what happened to the roll blender that you had? Well, what happened was, it's actually my sister's, you know, when a girl's in need, she uses it. This blender I got over the holidays from Masoko, actually. I ordered it from there. It's a Black & Decker. It comes with 2 grinders and 1 jug as well. I'll link it below for you guys to check it out. It was actually going for like 5,000 and it got free delivery because I used Patricia Kihoro's code. We're probably not gonna use all of this, however, it's smooth and we are ready to head over onto our stove to start cooking. So first up, we're gonna get our pan nice and hot, of course. Gonna add in about 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, or rather that was like a 3/4 tablespoon. I'm gonna swirl this around. Now I usually have a wok, however, I just wanted to use this pan. Like I said, we're just gonna be using such a small pinch of these onions because that's all I want, just like a really small pinch. The heat is on high and we are just cooking until the onions, of course, get softer. Now, since they're smaller, of course, they're gonna get softer quicker. We're gonna go in and add in our carrots and our French beans. I'm gonna be adding in some of our garlic and ginger paste onto them. It's about half a teaspoon. Stir that in. Just a slight pinch of salt. And then we're gonna add in just a little bit of water. Cover this so that the carrots can cook and the French beans as well. We're turning down our heat to medium high. We've added in a splash of water so that the carrots and the French beans can just cook. The major reason why we covered it is because the cover is providing moisture with the water in order for the French beans and the carrots to cook, actually. we want our veggies to still have a crunch, I just cover them and let them cook until they were, you know, al dente, because you don't want them to be overcooked. Now, in here, we're gonna be adding in my favorite, just a little bit of garlic powder, guys. Just a bit. Turn down our heat now to like a medium high. We're gonna add in our sweet corn. Now, our sweet corn, we had already boiled it, so it doesn't need to cook with the other veggies. I boiled it and shaved it off the cob, and I only used one sweet corn and cut it into half, so I only used half of it. We're gonna add in our rice. So as I'm adding in the rice, I'm breaking it apart because you just kind of want the pieces to have broken apart in the rice, of course, in your veggie pot. I'm gonna stir this together. Everything looks so beautiful. Now it's at this point we are just, of course, getting the rice warm, so we don't really need the heat on high. If you want, you can go ahead and cover this, because that way the moisture will be created into the pan and it heats up the rice faster. So it's been like literally about a minute, almost a minute. I've just covered it. I'm now just tossing everything together. I've touched the rice. It is definitely hot. I'm gonna be adding in the spring onion. Now, I won't go too crazy with this because I know spring onion has like a taste maybe not everybody loves. So you can, you know, just go with a few of these in here. Toss them in. And we're ready to serve. And there you have it. Literally, both meals or both rices can take you a matter of minutes. It's a meal you can even make under 10 minutes, especially if you have leftover fried rice. If you do wanna make it on the same day, make the rice early in the morning, come back home from work, from school, and then you can whip this all up. But the second veggie party rice with the sweet corn, the carrots, the French beans is gonna cost you about 360 shillings because of the fact that if you break down the cost, that's what it comes down to. While the turmeric and the onion and dania is gonna cost you less than 100 shillings. That's the beauty about it. Like both meals are under 500 shillings. And these are two of my favorite ways actually of revamping old rice. There's a myriad of ways of switching up your rice. Comment below and let me know what you usually add into your rice to revamp it. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and make a little sauce on the side for these veggie party rices in order to enjoy. I hope you guys really love this variation of rice that I've showed you. Do remember that you can comment below, like, subscribe, share this video, tag me when you make these meals, and I will catch you guys on the next video.